Think I'm just too white and nerdy. Think I'm just too white and nerdy. Can't you see I'm white and nerdy? Look at me, I'm white and nerdy. I wanna roll with the gangsters, but so far they all think I'm too white and nerdy. Think I'm just too white and nerdy.
Greetings all, I'm Anime Al. Al is my name and anime is my game. Now I know I've said this several times in the past before, but I'm gonna say it again for this video. I love superheroes. And right now we superhero fans are living in a golden age. Superhero movies and TV shows are both critical and financial successes. When I was a kid, it was virtually unthinkable, unfathomable to think that superheroes would one day become mainstream icons, but now that has become a reality. And with anime's increasing popularity in North America, someone at Marvel got an idea, which I imagine went something along like this. Duh, hey you guys, I got an idea. If superheroes are making a lot of money, and anime is beginning to make more money, what if we made an anime with superheroes? You're a genius, Larry, a genius! At least that's how I imagined it happened. So Marvel went to one of the biggest anime studios in Japan, Madhouse, and made a deal with them. Madhouse would make several anime starring Marvel characters such as Wolverine and Iron Man. Marvel would release the anime in North America with English dubs, and both of them would cut in on the profits. At the time of this video, Madhouse has made 5 TV shows and 2 movies from Marvel that follow their own continuity outside of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, as well as the comics, other shows, and such. So if I say, or you see, something that contradicts something you know about these characters, just know that this is an entire separate canon, alright? And when I say canon, I'm not talking about the one that fires cannonballs, I'm talking about a continuity canon, okay? Marvelites have taken to calling this canon as... Wait, some of you don't know what a Marvelite is? Forgive me. I sometimes forget that, unlike me, some of you are actually full functioning members of society. A Marvelite is a term used for someone who's a big fan of Spider-Man, Iron Man, Hulk, Thor, X-Men, Fantastic Four, Marvel characters. So Marvelites have taken to calling this continuity the Marvel Anime Universe. How creative. Some of the Marvel anime have been pretty good. Others, not so much. For this review, I'll be taking a look at their most recent title, Avengers Confidential, Black Widow and Punisher. Now, before I begin the review itself, I feel only fair to warn you that I will be giving out major spoilers throughout this video. So if you want to watch the movie for yourself, you should probably stop the video right now. Or if you want my final summary of the film, pause the video and go to the timestamp right here. Though, here's a tip. I'm not going to be kind to this movie. Our film opens at a docking bay where some gun dealers are getting slaughtered by our first main character, the Punisher. The Punisher's origin story pretty much remains the same, regardless of which version of the Marvel Universe you are reading or watching. Frank Castle was a U.S. Marine until his wife and 2 children were killed by the mob at a shootout in Central Park. Castle then began his one-man war against the mob and crime in general as the vigilante known to them as Punisher. Punisher was created in the early 70s by Jerry Conway, although he didn't hit the peak of his popularity until the 80s, in a time when people wanted their action heroes to be brutal and kill without mercy. And if I'm going to be entirely honest with you guys, which I always am, whether you like it or not, I don't like the Punisher, to the point of nearly hating the guy. Now, if some of you watching this video just happen to be Punisher fans, that's fine. I got nothing against you whatsoever. If you love the Punisher, then that's great for you, my dear viewer. But for me, Punisher is a psychopath of a bygone era of comics who shoots first and asks questions later. When he's not boring me with his complete lack of personality, he's offending me with his reckless and short-sighted approach to crime fighting. So yeah, I don't like him. Punisher kills all of the gun dealers except their boss with an explosion that somehow doesn't even scratch him. Yep, he's an 80s action hero, alright. Punisher then proceeds to torture the boss, a man named Kane, to get some information out of him. Apparently, Kane has been selling highly advanced weapons on the street, and Punisher wants to know the location of where he's been getting them from. Before Punisher can get any more information out of Kane, however, a SHIELD strike force led by the Black Widow arrives on the scene. Now, most of you probably already know about SHIELD and the Black Widow. So if you want to skip the next couple of minutes, which I will be going over these two, I can understand that and go to this point right here. SHIELD is an anagram that usually stands for the Strategic Hazard Intervention Espionage Logistics Division. Just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? They're an agency that is funded by the UN. Their job is to protect the world from terrorists, paranormal, and superhuman threats. The director of S.H.I.E.L.D. in most incarnations, including this film, is Nick Fury. As for Black Widow, aka Natasha Romanoff, she was created in 1964 by Stan Lee, Don Ditko, and Don Heck. Originally, she was an Iron Man villain, but a few years later was changed to be a member of the Avengers. And if you don't know who they are, where the heck have you been? Black Widow was trained from an early age to be the ultimate spy. Amazingly athletic, an expert at stealth, and a master at manipulating people. She is, in short, the female equivalent of James Bond, and in my opinion, one of the greatest female superheroes ever made. At least to me. So there you go. No more diversions. Now I can just focus on the movie itself. Oh dear. So Black Widow apparently is really pissed at Punisher because S.H.I.E.L.D. was planning to follow Kane back to where he's been getting his weapons from. Oopsie daisy. So Widow demands that Punisher turn himself in as well as hand over Kane, to which Punisher replies, "Screw you, I'm blowing this popsicle stand." And then they fight. And while this film has a lot of flaws, I will give it this. It has amazing action scenes. I mean, seriously, just look at this. The fights throughout the movie are fast-paced, carefully detailed, with all kinds of complex maneuvers. In fact, the main director of this film is knowledgeable in karate, which he clearly used to help him make this movie. Oh, if only this kind of dedication and effort had been put into the script. But I'm getting ahead of myself. You will see the flaws of the script as we go along through the movie. After Black Widow and Punisher fight for a while, Nick Fury himself comes down to try to get the Punisher to stand down. It doesn't work, but it does distract the Punisher long enough for the Black Widow to knock him out with some tranquilizer darts. Yeah, he's not going to be happy about that. They then proceed to take the Punisher up to the helicarrier so they can interrogate him. Nick Fury then proceeds to question the Punisher, and this is an interesting aspect not delved into other canons. Apparently, in this version, Nick Fury and Punisher were old friends. It would actually explain why the Punisher is free to go on his killing spree, despite the fact that this is a universe with Thor, Hulk, and Iron Man in it. Nick Fury berates the Punisher for just killing criminals without looking at the big picture, to which Punisher replies to Fury with this.
It's your operation? And just how many people do you think died while you wasted all that time and money? Beyond that, how many innocent lives are you willing to let be ruined while you play things by the book? Kids died while you were following the rules with your operation.
You're not stupid, Frank. So don't be so damn short-sighted. You want to win the battle, I want to win the whole war.
You SHIELD suits are so concerned with the war, you forget about all the people who get caught in the crossfire. Who cares if you win, if there's no one left alive to celebrate?
I gotta admit, I think this could have been an interesting idea for a movie. Have Punisher deal with the problem in his way, while having Fury dealing with the problem his way. Have these two people work at solving a problem in their own methods. And didn't need to state which one was right or wrong, just show the pros and cons. But here's the thing. We never have this brought up again. Yep. You know, there's a technical term for this, so what's it called? Oh, now I know. A wasted opportunity. Nick Fury reveals to Punisher that the source of Kane's weapons was a terrorist organization named Leviathan, which S.H.I.E.L.D. has been trying to bring down for years. Nick Fury then demands that Punisher tell him the location of where Kane got his weapons from Leviathan. Punisher agrees to this on one condition, that he get to go to the Leviathan facility so that he can help take out both Leviathan and Kane. You see, Kane got away while Black Widow and Punisher were fighting each other. Yeah, about 20 S.H.I.E.L.D. agents there, and not one of them thought to secure Kane. Yeah. Good to know that the world is in these guys' hands. And Nick Fury agrees on his one condition, that he has to have Black Widow go with him. I can't imagine this is going to backfire on Fury in any way, shape, or form. Oh, and how original is this? The rogue cop has to work with the by the books one. This is basically just a B cop movie with Marvel characters in their place. Fury also reveals to Punisher that the highly advanced weapons that Kane's been getting are in fact S.H.I.E.L.D. technology. On their way to the location, which is whatever the heck this is, Punisher asks Black Widow about Leviathan. According to the Widow, it's a powerful terrorist organization that's involved with every debauchery known to man. Human trafficking, drugs, terrorists, assassination, releasing Justin Bieber CDs. But here's the thing that keeps popping into my head. Isn't there already a powerful terrorist organization that is all around the world? Oh, what was it called? Don't tell me, it'll come to me.
Hail Hydra.
Now that I think about it, Leviathan is pretty similar to Hydra. Whereas Hydra is basically a modern version of the Nazis, Leviathan is basically a modern version of the Soviet Union. Since not much particularly happens except Black Widow and Punisher killing and beating up Leviathan agents, I might as well talk about a little more aesthetic parts of the film. So, how is the dub? They're pretty good by and large. The Punisher is voiced by Brian Bloom, who does a pretty good job getting the Punisher's mannerisms down. The best actor of this entire film is probably John Eric Bentley, who voices Nick Fury. He's no Samuel L. Jackson, but he's pretty good. Unfortunately, the weakest link in this dub is probably Jennifer Carpenter as the Black Widow. Now, for the record, I don't believe she's a bad actress, but she doesn't seem to be a particularly good voiceover actress. She comes off as a bit stiff, like she's too self-conscious about matching the voice flaps from the animation.
Evening, Castle. What have you got there? Friend of yours?
As for the rest of the dubcast, it's filled out by veterans such as Grant George, Kyle Herbert, and Carol Wildgreen. So, yeah, it's a pretty good dubcast. Nothing spectacular or remarkable, but pretty good. Same with the Japanese voice casts. It's nothing particularly noteworthy. As for the character designs, it's pretty much the same large-faced, heavy jaw look that you'll see in all the other Marvel anime. Some people like this design, some people don't like this design. Personally, I like it well enough. Well, getting back to the plot of the movie, such as it is, we see the Black Widow and Punisher beat and kill several Leviathan soldiers as they break into the Leviathan facility in whatever the heck this is, somewhere in Russia, I think. Eventually, they come across a laboratory. Apparently, Leviathan is experimenting on people, giving them superhuman abilities. Well, apparently now we know why they were into human trafficking. Unfortunately, Punisher also notices Kane and decides to take off and go after him, to which the Black Widow replies, "You're gonna stay here and you're gonna do what I say." So they fight, then they fight, then they fight, then they fight. After they fight for a bit, she decides reluctantly to let the Punisher go off on his own, which I'm sure no way will backfire on her. Kane apparently is still suffering from his injuries he received from when the Punisher tortured him, and is now using a cane to get around. You get it? He's a weapons dealer called Kane, and now he's using a cane to... Oh, forget it. When he steps out into the hall to use his cell phone to text someone, Punisher then takes the opportunity to capture him once again. Ah, no, not this guy again. I'm still got a broken arm. Before Punisher can get anything out of Kane again, Kane manages to escape using a flashing phone. Ah, I fell for the old flash phone. That's one of the oldest tricks in the book. So while the Punisher is getting ready to torture Kane for the second time, that guy's probably having the worst week of his life, the Black Widow attempts to download as much information from the lab console as possible until she is interrupted by a big guy in a red costume, who turns out to be none other than dun dun dun, the Black Widow's ex-boyfriend. Wait, what? So yeah, it turns out that the guy in the red suit is Elias Starr, Black Widow's former boyfriend and a former S.H.I.E.L.D. scientist. Apparently, he sold S.H.I.E.L.D. secrets and then died under mysterious circumstances. And now he's back as one of Leviathan's top guys. So I guess you're less than happy to see him again, hey, Natasha? Oh boy, sucks to be Black Widow right now. Here's the weirdest thing. His name is Elias Starr. Now, to fellow Marvelites such as myself, that name is the true identity of Ant-Man's arch-nemesis in the comics, Egghead. A villain so pathetic and so worthless. He wasn't even the main villain when Ant-Man finally got his own movie. So let me get this straight, guys. You decided to turn this into this. Well, it's a definite improvement, I'll give you that. Now, some of you may be wondering, why? Why did Elias Starr, Black Widow's boyfriend, fake his death to join Leviathan? Was it for power? Money? Greed? Ego? Oh, those are all sensible things, my dear viewers. No, the reason why Elias Starr defected S.H.I.E.L.D. and joined Leviathan, a powerful terrorist organization, was to prove to Black Widow that he loved her.
And why would that matter in the end?
I'd be someone who's finally worthy of your love.
I don't believe it. What a plonker. What a plonker.
So, Elias, you decided to prove to your girlfriend that you loved her by joining up with people that were fighting against the organization that she was working for. This is the equivalent of a forensic scientist trying to prove his love to a cop by joining the mob. It doesn't make any sense. So the former S.H.I.E.L.D. scientist reveals that the leader of Leviathan is Orion, and he wants the Black Widow to join them. Elias explains to Black Widow Leviathan's big master plan, that they had captured numerous people over the years, brainwashed them, and given them superhuman abilities, and now they have an entire army, and are going to sell them to the highest bidder, be it a country, a supervillain, whoever. Just get a load of this line.
That just means there'll be more death wherever Leviathan goes.
Business is business.
Okay, I don't want any line repeated in this movie, but can we play that again, please?
That just means there'll be more death wherever Leviathan goes.
Business is business.
And I thought this sandwich was full of baloney.
Tell me again you're doing this for your girlfriend, because it sounds like that was a big load of crap to me. The Black Widow at first pretends that she wants to join up with Leviathan to get the drop on him. Now, I gotta admit, this is a very Black Widow thing to do. She's a master at manipulating people. And the fight is pretty awesome due to the fact that Elias has given himself superhuman power. So Punisher is fighting Leviathan agents. Meanwhile, Black Widow is fighting her ex-boyfriend. And I gotta admit, these action scenes are pretty cool. but it's ruined by the fact that Elias keeps saying stuff like, I was never good enough for you, why won't you join us? Oh god, I'm getting a headache just listening to this twerp. So Punisher does significant damage to the base. You gotta give the Punisher credit for one thing. He does know how to make a good boom. So Black Widow and Punisher get the heck out of there and decide to take Kane's cell phone to a S.H.I.E.L.D. Science base so they can unencrypt it and find out where Leviathan's HQ is. So Black Widow and Punisher decide to go to a S.H.I.E.L.D. base at Istanbul to get Kane's phone decrypted so they can figure out where Leviathan's HQ is. Widow and Punisher get to the base that's protected by awful CG cameras. It also turns out one of the guards is a former Marine, just like the Punisher. Black Widow and Punisher give the phone to be decrypted to none other than Amadeus Cho, who makes his first appearance outside of the comics. It might be his only appearance if this is the kind of stuff he's going to be appearing in. So Amadeus begins decrypting the phone, and Black Widow says she will take him out on a date if he gets it done really fast.
You've got 10 minutes to decrypt all the data off this device.
Listen, I have low blood pressure and I don't work well right after I wake up.
Aw, too bad. I had something special in mind as a reward.
Hey, I'm feeling a lot better now.
I love you, Black Widow, but you're coming off as a bit of a cougar here. I know that part of her character is that she's manipulative, but this kind of creeps me out a little bit. After trying to hack the phone for a while, Amadeus accidentally activates something, causing a bright flash to appear, and then a countdown to begin.
Hope I didn't cause that.
That doesn't look very good to me.
Natasha, when has a countdown from a terrorist's phone ever been a good thing? Punisher then begins attacking Black Widow. Apparently, the flash from the phone has somehow brainwashed Punisher. Yes, you remember that brainwashing technology I mentioned earlier for Leviathan super soldiers? Well, apparently it is due to a bright flash. I'm gonna call BS. Amadeus also reveals that when the countdown is over, the cell phone will self-destruct. And I will give this movie credit here. The countdown of the phone self-destructing while Punisher beats up Black Widow and kills some of the guards here, it's got quite a bit of dramatic tension. I will give it that. Eventually, Amadeus decides since he can't hack it, he'll just get rid of the phone and throws it, I don't know what that thing is, a garbage chute? Anyway, the phone self-destructs and Punisher's brainwashing ceases. Why did the brainwashing stop when the phone self-destructed? If the flash affected his mind, should it keep going regardless if the phone's still around? Like I said, BS. So, Punisher, realizing what he's done, turns himself over to S.H.I.E.L.D. willingly. And I gotta give the credit here, this is a little interesting moment. When he came into the building, he noticed that one of the S.H.I.E.L.D. guards was a former Marine such as himself. And now he has killed one of his fellow brothers, I guess. And now he feels guilt over killing innocent people. This could have been an interesting element here, that Punisher seeks to redeem himself by beating Leviathan. But no, it goes nowhere. Like everything in this movie. So Black Widow speaks with Nick Fury about getting Punisher out. Seeing as Punisher did what he did under mind control, she figures it's unfair to him to being locked up. And while Nick Fury somewhat agrees, he's got a lot of people breathing down his neck to have the Punisher locked up for good. Including me. And then comes this ridiculously stupid plot twist. Nick Fury knew that Leviathan had brainwashing technology and decided not to warn Black Widow and Punisher. What gets to me is that Black Widow points out how stupid this is, and then Nick Fury agrees with her.
That's right. Even if one or both of you ended up getting brainwashed, we'd be able to deal with it. unlike the others.
Protecting your ass.
I can't really deny that.
I'm surrounded by idiots.
What? Why didn't you warn them? I know what some of you are going to say. Well, it's Nick Fury, Anime Al. He's not always the most forthcoming guy. Well, to that I say, there's a difference between keeping secrets if you feel that's going to put people in danger, and not telling people something that's vital to a mission for no good reason whatsoever. But it gets worse. The mind control technology came from S.H.I.E.L.D. Yeah, apparently when Elias defected from S.H.I.E.L.D., he not only took blueprints for highly advanced weapons, he also took blueprints for experimental mind control technology that S.H.I.E.L.D. had been working on and then abandoned because they believed it was unethical. You want to add to that, Fury?
Since he was dead, we closed the case and didn't bother trying to follow up on it. But in a later inventory, we discovered he had taken some very important material with him.
And what would that have been?
We're always trying to protect our people from catastrophic injuries. We have DNA and blood reserves for every agent in case an emergency occurs during the course of a mission. Part of that stock went missing.
Oh, stop it. I can't stand it. It's too painful.
Are you kidding me? Elias took off with blueprints for weapons, blueprints for mind control technology, and the blood of Hulk and Thor, and you decided not to look into this because you thought he was dead. You of all people should know, Fury, that just because someone is supposedly dead doesn't mean they're actually dead. And even if Elias had truly died in whatever incident that he died in, I don't remember how he died. Maybe it was explained in the movie, but I forgot. So anyway, my point being is that Fury was so stupid as to think that this was not worth following up on. That all of this stuff just disappeared when Elias supposedly died, and he didn't even bother to try to find it. Level with me, Fury. Did you suck on lead paint when you were a kid? Because I can't think of any other reason why you're acting so freaking stupid in this movie. You know, S.H.I.E.L.D. is supposed to be an intelligence agency. And in this film, I don't see them acting very intelligently at all. Oh, did I also forget to mention that Nick Fury probably knew that Elias was still alive? So you suspected that Elias was still alive, and you knew for a fact that he had taken a lot of vital information from S.H.I.E.L.D., and you decided not to follow up on it until now. And Leviathan has been working on these super soldiers for at least several months now, judging by how many they have. So you've just been spending several months dwindling around.
Now you see that evil will always triumph, because good is dumb.
So Natasha breaks the Punisher out of S.H.I.E.L.D. custody so that he can help her track down Leviathan and stop them. The old but good cop has learned to appreciate the bad cop's way of thinking cliche. Along with 50 other freaking cliches and plot holes in this movie. So Punisher and Black Widow go to see the Punisher's informant in Hong Kong, and he reveals to them that Leviathan is going to be auctioning off the super soldiers in Madripoor tonight. Of course it had to be Madripoor. Now, for those who are not Marvelites, Madripoor is the most crime-ridden city in the Marvel Universe. It's basically Marvel's version of Gotham. Everyone there is either a criminal or a victim, without exception. And of course, they had to use it for this film. And it makes sense. So Black Widow and Punisher head to Madripoor as fast as they can, but on their way, Nick Fury shows them several television broadcasts. Apparently, Leviathan has sent several of their super soldiers out in major cities, as a little demonstration to their buyers.
We have footage of the shootings and explosions that took place in the center of Dubai today.
Leviathan's enhanced soldiers.
That's right. They're known as bio-soldiers within the organization.
This is starting to sound like a bad comic book plot.
And now we've gotten to Madripoor, and oh, sweet Christ, that is Leviathan's base? For those of you who don't know, S.H.I.E.L.D. has access to most satellites across the globe. So all their work and effort could have been skipped right over if they had just accessed one of the satellites and taken a look at Madripoor, the most crime-ridden city in the Marvel Universe. Leviathan's pretty much lit up their base like a freaking Christmas tree.
Dumb.
Anyway, we zoom into Leviathan's base and see several of the buyers interested in purchasing these super soldiers. Some of the villains include Baron Zemo, the Grim Reaper, Graviton, and Count Nefaria. I don't know which is worse, the fact that they only put these guys in this movie so the Marvelites would go, "Oh my gosh, I know who those guys are! I know who those guys are!" Or when I saw this movie for the first time, I went, "Oh my gosh, I know who those guys are! I know who those guys are!" Yeah, in case you haven't figured out, I'm a bit of a nerd. Don't judge me! So Punisher and Black Widow attempt to sneak into Leviathan's fortress. However, a security camera catches them and Leviathan sends a number of their super soldiers to stop them, including Elias himself. But fortunately, they got backup. Yeah, that's right, folks. It's the Jolly Green Giant himself. Elias, however, attempts to use the brainwashing flash. Gosh, this sounds so stupid when I say it like that. To control the Hulk. However, it doesn't work. I love Elias's reaction to this.
Close your eyes!
What the hell?
It turns out that the S.H.I.E.L.D. scientist, Amadeus, has come up with a counteractive for Leviathan's brainwashing. Oh, it makes sense, seeing that S.H.I.E.L.D. developed this technology in the first place. If you're wondering how the Hulk got to Madripoor, it's because Nick Fury, after learning from Amadeus that he found a way to stop Leviathan's flashing mind control, called in the Avengers so they could bring down Leviathan.
I'm telling you, this guy's harder to ride than a horse. Shows you what a guy will do to get a kiss. This coats your pupils with a nano device that won't accept the brainwashing signals they're broadcasting.
How exactly does that work?
How? With science, of course!
Whatever. Leviathan's mind control stuff isn't going to be working anymore, okay? So let's just leave it at that and move on. The movie's almost over. So while Punisher and the Hulk storm towards Leviathan's HQ, Black Widow goes after Elias. And I'll admit, this fight is pretty awesome. Except for the fact that it gets ruined by Elias's constant whining. I mean, just listen to this guy.
And now, after all this, you turn your back on me! Why? For the love of God, somebody kick his ass!
So after fighting for quite a bit, Elias comes to the realization that he was a freaking idiot. So Elias is on the good guy's side now. Yip, hooray. Elias reveals that Leviathan had a backup plan in case any of the buyers attempted to turn the super soldiers on them, that there is a sort of kill switch that'll cause the brainwashing to deactivate and the super soldiers to stop.
Convenient!
Hawkeye fires several explosive arrows into the wall of Leviathan's fortress, allowing Thor, Hulk, Iron Man, Ms. Marvel, War Machine, and Punisher to infiltrate the fortress and begin fighting an army of super soldiers, Leviathan agents, and several big Marvel villains. So the Black Widow and Elias break into Leviathan's control room for the super soldiers, and lo and behold, Leviathan's leader is in the room, Orion. Now, to be fair to the people who made this film, they did get Orion right for the most part. His look, his abilities. But here's the thing. In the comics, Orion wasn't the leader of Leviathan. He was one of their top lieutenants. But he's still pretty close to his comic book counterpart, so I'm not going to have any complaints if they change it up a little bit. And again, this is an awesome fight, but unfortunately, it's going to be ruined in a moment. You see, Orion reveals why he did this, why he spent so much time and effort creating all of these super soldiers.
Let me ask you, Elias, what is it that you're really fighting for here? In the long history of our world, the oppressors who had the power were ruthless. The oppressed were at their mercy. You know what that's like. You were weak. Now you're strong. Don't others deserve to feel that power? We can give that power to the people. Help us. With your assistance, Elias, we can change the whole world.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
Okay, Mr. Orion, Grand Supreme Pooh Bob of Leviathan, you claim that you are doing this to make everyone equal. So why are you selling these super soldiers to supervillains? How is that going to equal equality? How? Did it ever occur to you, Orion, that if you wanted to make everyone in the world equal, why didn't you pollute the air with your super soldier serum or the water supply or something? You know, give the serum to everyone. So everyone will be equal. Everyone will have superpowers. No one will be more powerful than someone else. Huh? Did that ever occur to you with your big mastermind plan? Now I know what some of you are going to say. He's a supervillain. His plan doesn't have to make sense. He's deranged, a lunatic. Well, here's the thing, folks. Even the most deranged, psychotic lunatic has motivations that make sense to them. And this plan of his, selling the super soldiers to supervillains, does not make sense. How does that, in any way, shape, or form, make people around the world equal? I am a very big fan of superheroes, and I've seen a lot of superhero movies, both good and bad. And I can honestly say that this is one of the dumbest plans I have ever seen in a superhero film. So Black Widow and Elias get beaten up quite a bit by Orion until Punisher steps in and tries to kill Elias, even though he is lying on the ground, moving on. So Elias then sacrifices himself to save the Black Widow. I don't care. Punisher comes in and finishes off Orion quickly. And so Elias bids a tearful farewell to Black Widow. God, just die already. So the day is saved, the super soldiers are deactivated. I'm presuming they're going to do something to clean out the serum out of their bodies or something. The supervillains are all captured and incarcerated, except for Baron Zemo, who got away, but that's not important. Orion and Elias are dead, and hip hip hooray, the day is saved. But that's not quite the end. Nick Fury goes over to Punisher and berates him for killing Orion due to the fact that they needed him and Elias alive so they could find out the full extent of what Leviathan had planned. Because there's still Leviathan agents out there. They still have projects out there. But now they're not going to know because Punisher went and killed the big kahuna at the top. Well done, Punisher. Once again, your method of killing every bad guy in sight will lead to more death than it would have otherwise. So, Nick Fury orders the Black Widow to capture the Punisher and incarcerate him. However, she decides since Punisher did so much to help out that she is going to let him go. This man has killed time and time again without no regard for human life. Well done, Natasha. I know you feel that you owe him, but I think you're going to cause more harm than good doing this. Now, I hear some of you say, but wait, Al, there's still one subplot remaining. What about the weapons dealer, Kane? Are they setting up for a sequel? No. Fortunately, they at least had the good sense to finish Kane off. At the very end of the film, when Kane is trying to use the bathroom, Punisher turns out the lights, steps in, and kills him. So that was it. That was Avengers Confidential, Black Widow, and Punisher. What a stupid, stupid movie. Now I know what some of you are going to say. Al, it's a direct-to-DVD movie based on a popular property. Did you really think it'd be good? Well, no, not really, but I was still expecting more than this. But hey, I guess I shouldn't have been surprised. This is a direct-to-DVD animated film. Those are usually terrible. Well, except by DC Comics, but even they're starting to go downhill lately. I guess you could say I was expecting too much, but really, I was so underwhelmed by this film. You wanna know how underwhelmed I was? I barely remember any of it, and I've watched through this film 3 times, not counting editing. That is how little sticks in my head in this movie. There's just pretty much almost nothing here noteworthy, except the awesome action scenes, which I cannot stress are really well done. Well, I suppose there's also the added plus that we get to see all these characters in an anime form. But if that movie is so freaking stupid, that magic of seeing these characters in anime form kind of dies away. This movie is not good. It's that simple. It has no originality. It has nothing worthwhile that makes it stand out in comparison to all the other numerous Marvel movies. The plot holes are infuriating. Black Widow's romantic subplot is so poor in this movie, it makes me want to punch the people who said that it was poor in Age of Ultron. Look, I'm not saying it had to break the mold, okay? I do not need or want every single anime that I review or see to try something new. No, all I ask is that you be competent, okay? All I ask is that you at least try. This movie felt to me like it didn't even try. Like it knew hundreds or thousands of people were gonna buy this damn DVD because it had Marvel slapped onto it, and for no other reason. And that really offends me, that you can just put this movie out and it'll sell just because it's got a big name attached to it. I hate movies like that. I just hate movies like that. Even if a movie fails and tries, at least I could say it tried. I could admire that. This didn't really feel like it tried to me. And that's a darn shame because there was some glimmer of good here and there in this film, like the incredible action scenes and the solid voice acting for the most part. But no, not even the best voice acting and action scenes could have saved this plot hole ridden behemoth. And the dialogue. Oh, Jesus H. Christ. I have heard better dialogue from my grandmother's soap operas. I will give the writers credit that by and large they were pretty accurate to the general Marvel universe, and that there was nothing here that really degraded the characters except for Nick Fury. Good God, what the heck did they do to you, Fury, here? So, yeah, I can't recommend this movie. Unless you are an absolute hardcore Marvel fan, or you just like watching action scenes with no meat or plot to them whatsoever. I give Avengers Confidential, Black Widow, and Punisher 1 star out of 5. Some of you may say that I'm being way too harsh, but this movie really, really deserves it in my books. Avengers Confidential is available from Marvel Studios. If you want to see something like this in the same vein, only actually good, then I would recommend Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes and the Avengers film, also available from Marvel Studios. Yeah, I know they're not anime, but I do watch things other than anime, you know. Or you could check out one of the DC direct-to-DVD films. They usually tend to do this the right way. And I say this now to anyone from Marvel who just happens to watch this video. If you want to compete with DC's hold on the direct-DVD animated film market, you are gonna have to do a lot better than this in future, Marvel. A lot better than this. I'm glad I got that out of my system. Well, folks, next time I'll be reviewing another anime film. But until then, I'm Anime Al. Al is my name, anime is my game. Now, if you excuse me, I'm gonna go watch a good superhero movie now.